Kelly, how big is pot? High time it has its own Shark Tank show.
I knew this show was coming.
It's the show that gives entrepreneurs a shot at making their dreams come true. But what about ganjapreneurs?
The cannabis market will grow to a $15 billion industry by 2020.
We actually anticipate the market will grow to over $17.5 billion by 2020. So very, very dramatic growth curve. It makes it one of the fastest growing industries in the nation. And I think it represents the rate at which perceptions about marijuana are changing within the US.
There are more than 110 million people in America suffering from chronic pain. CBD is an incredibly unique molecule. It's different than anything else that's out there. CBD does not have any psychoactive components. It keeps your mind sharp, but allows your body to receive the benefits. It's discreet, it's delivered to your home. I have relief from my back and my shoulder pain within just a couple of moments. It's legal in all 50 states. It's vaporizers, edibles, and tinctures. For people who want some THC, all you have to do is demonstrate proof of a medical card, or we can even help you get one of those.
It's wonderful. It's pain-free. I can move, I can do things, I can walk. It gives me back my freedom.
Nancy comes right to my home. And now I go out, I go for walks. Thank you so much. You've changed my life.
My company is called Nancy, and it is the Birch Box of cannabis, so it's a subscription box.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. And what kind of products do you put in it?
CBD. So right now it's all hemp, so it doesn't get anyone high. There's no THC. It's great for anxiety and pain. So those are our two main things, and depression too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's for people who are, maybe on Xanax, opiates, or anything like that for their pain. So it's people who are very unfamiliar with the cannabis industry.
So what does your family think of all this?
There are some very key members of my family who no longer talk to me because of it once they found out. So,
oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, it sucks too because they could really benefit from it because they're in chronic pain.
And do they understand that CBD is very different than the THC components and the medical benefits of it, or?
I explain that a lot, but I don't think they really get it. I think it's just being associated with this industry. They would really like me to be in insurance. It can't derail me. I mean, we're doing something so much bigger than a family argument that it's not going to derail me. And since our first line is hemp, we can ship nationally and it's legal in all 50 states, and we can be in traditional retail outlets rather than just dispensaries. So the reason why I really want this investment is because it'll allow me to finish building out my team and get this product to the masses quicker so we can help make people feel better. So it would really mean a lot to me. Nancy is the Birchbox of cannabis, delivering, I forget.
It's okay, try again.
Okay. Nancy is the Birchbox of cannabis without the high.
Okay, what do you guys think about Birchbox? Anyone know what a Birchbox is?
No, I know it's a tree. There's an elm and a birch, but...
So 1 out of 11, 12 of us got it or whatever, but you know, okay.
I'm Samantha Strom, the founding CEO of Nancy, and we deliver CBD-rich products that don't get you high.
That was good.
But and I like that you're not saying the Birchbox of,
Yeah,
you know,
it's okay.
okay. So good, we'll work on that.
We'll work on that.
Hi, I'm Samantha Strom, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nancy, and we deliver CBD-rich products for pain and anxiety to our members' doorsteps every month. Now, even though I grew up in the Emerald Triangle, or maybe because I did, I've never really been the biggest fan of marijuana. Every time I smoke weed, I end up in a corner thinking I'm an alien. I just don't have time for that. So while I was going through the 500 Startups program this summer, my gymnastics injuries from when I was a kid flared up so bad that I tried everything. I even tried a energy healer, and nothing worked. So I thought, what the hell? And I found a CBD-rich line of marijuana, and I tried it, and what do you know? Relief instantaneously. And I thought, well, I can't be the only one who feels like this. This is a $19 billion industry with more than 100 million Americans struggling with chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. It's actually a bigger industry than cancer, diabetes, and heart disease combined. So we're pre-revenue right now. We've sold about $1,000 worth of product to friends through word of mouth. We haven't launched our website yet. We did launch our Indiegogo, and we've raised a little over $1,000 in the last week. So we are looking for $200,000 for 35% of our company. And with that money, we're going to improve our packaging, launch our website, hire staff, and get inventory, do our licensing, and bring Marza on full time. And so if you can imagine what we did with just $10,000 in 2 months, we created 5 different SKUs. Imagine what we could do with a little strategic mentorship from experts like you and a little bit of that extra funding. So who wants to come make the world a happier and healthier place with us?
So what do you retail the product for?
So this box, you can go ahead if you'd like to open your
guessing
product.
that's what's inside.
Yes. So this box is the welcome that people will get from Indiegogo.
That tastes good.
And I'm sorry, what did you say this retails for then? Or
So that cartridge will retail for $20, and that we're still playing around, but $24.99.
The brand Nancy is a bit feminine, and it's just not very manly. So are you just really focusing on women, or are you going to have another brand geared more towards men? What's the game plan going forward?
Yeah, initially when we came out with it, our thought was to make women feel comfortable starting to explore this product, because going into a dispensary, standard dispensaries, it's a little intimidating for women, and so that was our initial thought. But the reason why we named it Nancy is we wanted to personify it so people can talk about it discreetly. Are you friends with Nancy? Is Nancy coming over tonight? Oh, I just had some Nancy. So to make it a little bit fun, so we think that it can actually go through all genders.
You're asking for a $571,000 valuation. Since you're pre-revenue, really what I'd be betting on is you and your ability to make this work. So you said you had a previous company. How much money did you raise for that, and how much money did your investors make?
So with the previous company, we raised $100,000, and it's kind of a messy situation. We're still on great terms, but they're not technically investors in Nancy, but they kind of are. But since they're a fund, they can't be, because we pivoted the company midway through the accelerator. So they still have an investment. So the amount of money that we applied to Nancy so far is their money, so they'll have a small stake in the company. The total sales on that company was $68,000 about.
Okay. And where does $200,000 in investment get you in a year in terms of sales? Do you spend all that money this year, and will you need more money next year?
I don't think we'll need more money next year, because we're going to be making a lot of money. I've based all of our projections, which I know it's hard to go off of when you're pre-revenue, but on our competition and what they're doing and what they've told us and what their suppliers have told us. and we should be making enough that we won't have to come back for more investment.
You know, I kind of like the concept, but you're not a business yet. You haven't launched the website. I mean, if you had come to us and said, look, I've got this website launched, people love the concept, they're placing orders, and I need $200,000 to meet the demand, that's a very different conversation than, well, I haven't launched my website, I have an idea. You know, right now, you really don't have anything. So, I mean, if I wanted to create a website and launch a Starbuds brand CBD product line, I mean, what do I need you for? Why are you worth $500,000?
Because we work our asses off, and so you won't have to.
Right, I could pay somebody $100,000 a year, they're gonna work their ass off for me, and they'll just create it from scratch. So I'm a pass.
You know, my concern is, how do you stand out? How do you educate people on CBD, and how do you get them to want to buy your product? Like, how do you get in front of them? I don't think for $200,000 to build an e-commerce site, to build out the branding, the packaging, and to get the advertising to really get some sales that would excite me, I don't know if there's enough here for me. So I'm gonna pass.
So I would say that $200,000 for you to really distinguish yourself and create awareness is not nearly the amount of capital you'll need in a category that's this competitive. And I don't see the differentiation in your strategy about distribution, about licensing, about brand development. So I'm a pass.
I understand you're doing this, you know, yourself, but have you considered at all like partnering up with people that already have this done and including it in your packet, in your box?
So that's another concept that we've thought about too, is white labeling some things. We were going back and forth between white labeling and then just including the actual brands and having them donate the product or buying the product wholesale, which is what we did at our last company.
Well, Sam, I really don't want to invest with you right now. I do have some companies that I think it'd be good to partner up with, you know, introduce you to, maybe to help bring down some of your costs. And they've got some great brand recognition and traction already in the marijuana industry. So they would help you with advertising just by using their name and saying that they're in part of your, you know, your shipments. And I just think that'd be a good place for you to start right now. So I would like to make those connections for you.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jamie.
So Sam, even though I'm out of the deal, I would like to help you because I think your products would sell very well at the Starbuds locations as well as on starbuds303.com. So what I'd like to do is put you in touch with my purchasing manager and arrange for a first order.
Yes, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, you know, I think because of my previous startup, it got really confusing and it's really difficult to explain without sitting down and going over the numbers and the agreements. Probably just leaving that out, I guess, would have benefited me because it just got too confusing. What's next for me and my company? I'm gonna go home and get a job and keep on doing this on the side because Nancy should be out in the world and she's already helping lots and lots of people, so. I met a lot of really great people and got a lot of really good advice and helped hone my concept in. Thank you, Wendy and Karen, for the opportunity, and to all the contestants. I had a blast, and I'm really looking forward to staying in touch, as well as with the investors. Yeah, hashtag MJ Reality Show.
Medical marijuana is good. I've been drinking CBD water. That water puts me right to sleep. And also I have eaten edibles that are all CBD, and them shits is like amazing. They're like the best sleeping pills. And then they say it's got a lot of good qualities beside that. You know, people die from alcohol. They don't die from marijuana. People are using it for so many medicinal purposes, and it's so helpful to so many people. But I would recommend somebody who loves the product and knows how good it is and is happy to give it to people to make people better. Any job, I recommend the same thing. Give what you want to receive. A lot of people who are innovative and can figure out ways to build out brands, it looks like that's a market they should get in.
Essentially started an analytical platform. What are you seeing so far?
What we're trying to do is to educate and bring more visibility and transparency to an industry that, as you've mentioned, is booming. I'm an investment banker by training. I used to be with JP Morgan in New York. And about a year and a half ago, someone called me saying, hey, Maryland is legalizing marijuana. I kind of want to get into it. Can you help me assess the opportunity? There was no data being collected in a way that, you know, an industry level report would need it to be collected. And so that's how New Frontier was born. New Frontier is the big data industry reporting provider in the cannabis industry.
You know, you're providing this data, but is it just legislators?
No, absolutely not. In fact, our top tier customer group are financial institutions and investors who are trying to assess what is really the return on investment, what is the risk associated with investing in cannabis, what state, you know, are more potentially more profitable, where are there more opportunities. And we also provide data to operators. Well, welcome to the office.
So I noticed basically everybody's in suits. I don't see tie-dye, I don't see anyone like smoking out.
We're honestly a bunch of geeks. We're very, we're data crunchers. So we provide analyst reports as well as an annual report to investors, legislators, and operators.
You know, what are the most surprising discoveries you've found through this industry? What surprised you the most?
Well, the first surprise I had was the size and the growth rate.
There are data sets that we are analyzing and aggregating that nobody has looked at before, at least nobody has looked at in the way we're looking at. And so being some of the first people to get our hands on it and being first to understand what it means for the investors, for the owner-operators, for the legislators, is profoundly exciting.
We got nominated with DC Eno as the 50 hottest companies in DC. We're really excited.
Oh, I love that.
We've doubled in value in the last year, which is really unique for a startup. And I have to say that every single person on the team pulled their weight and some. So it's pretty awesome.
How do you think that the data that you're collecting will impact the future of cannabis?
There is no mature industry today that didn't get to where it was without having very rigorous data collection and data reporting associated with it. But a year and a half ago, multi-billion-dollar industry with literally investors going in like this, not understanding and not knowing what is the growth path. The legal cannabis market is not just a recreational or adult use market. It is also medical and it is also hemp. So those are another two sectors that without data are not going anywhere. The data is going to be instrumental in ensuring the healthy growth of the industry.
Our business, Cloud Co Farms, was founded about a year ago, and our goal is simply to improve as many lives as we can possibly improve. The reason why I started this business with my parents is because all four of my grandparents have had cancer, and two of them have passed. One of them I never got to know. She passed when I was like 1. My grandmother, she had breast cancer multiple times, and she passed last November. My other two grandparents have cancer now, and the struggle continues. And for me, there's just no way that I'm gonna allow my parents to get cancer or suffer the same fate. We'll be cultivating CBD-rich cannabis strains that are non-psychoactive, they have no THC, and we will be growing as much as we can fit on our 137-acre farm. If I received an investment, I would immediately begin working. For me, I think it would change my life because I would be able to improve many others' lives and save a lot of families, keep them together, and I would be able to provide financial freedom for my family. Well, what's at risk is my family's life savings, so we are all in. My parents have invested all of their money. I thrive under the pressure. All I have to do is just think back to all the patients and people out there that we could help. I am founder and CEO of Cloud Co Farms. We will cultivate over 80 acres of CBD-rich, non-psychoactive cannabis per year. I have multiple genetics of which qualify under a hemp license, and they test for over 20% CBD and non-detectable THC. This allows us to distribute to product manufacturers and retailers across the country and even abroad. I personally have 2 grandparents who have died of cancer and 2 that continue the battle with cancer. And I believe that my product could provide some relief. Next year, 14 million people will be diagnosed with cancer in just this country alone, and 8 million of them will die. On top of that, the pharmaceutical industry will deal over $300 billion worth of drugs, which will lead to 16,000 overdoses. And the tobacco industry will cause 6 million deaths and make $35 billion doing it. So what are we doing about this? To this point, I have raised $360,000 from family and friends to do a 12,000 square foot greenhouse grow next season with 1,000 plants. I'm here today asking you guys for $500,000 to plant 80 acres of 5 to 8% CBD-rich cannabis outdoors on our farm, of which we expect 40,000 pounds of flower in yield, 80,000 pounds of seed in yield, and we will sell the flower for $800 a pound and the seed for $250 a pound. And for that, I am offering 10% equity if you would be willing to work with me.
137 acres is a very big farm.
Right.
Who's going to run it? Who's going to plant it? Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to harvest it?
Right, so I'm partnered with an individual who has planted 250 acres this season of the exact same genetic that I will be cultivating, and they have just finished harvesting. Every single one of their fields passed the Colorado Department of Agriculture's testing.
Sure, but are they involved in your farm?
Yes, they have a 50-50 crop share next season to provide full oversight of the entire grow operation. They provide the seed, they provide the 1,000 clones for the greenhouse.
So you're giving 50% of the crop to these guys, and if we come in, we get 10%, we get 10% of half?
Yeah, you would get 10% of 20,000 pounds on the flower and 40,000 pounds on the seed.
Let's say this works the first year. Run through the numbers. What am I going to get back at the end of all this from my 10%?
Okay, so your floor on the first year, if the entire outdoor crop fails, you will still make your $500,000 back in 18 months off of the indoor grow in the greenhouse. Your ceiling, if the outdoor grow goes well in the first year, you will make $2.5 million off of your $500,000 for a 500% return in just the first year. And that's including the 50-50 crop share.
So I think particularly for a guy that worked on Wall Street in Manhattan for a period of time for a brokerage firm and a broker-dealer, your answers in terms of what you're asking for and the structure of the investment and exactly the amount of the company we will own for our investment has to be much tighter than it is. Mm-hmm. So you have to be as well prepared on the financial side, the ask, as you are on the mechanical side of how you're going to do your grow.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
I am highly intrigued with the whole idea of the CBD grow. I mean, that's a huge part of the market now, and everyone's moving toward the CBD. I kind of have to agree that, I usually don't get involved in business deals that are less than, definitely not 5% ownership, as far as that goes. I am willing to, talk with you. I would love to help you once we get our manufacturing facility up and bring in your CBD and help you with the extractions. I think that would be a good partnership. I could also, I have the dispensaries. I'd like to bring the product into the store if it's, tests great, if it's something that we feel after the testing through, I think it's just a huge market and it's such a help and benefit to people. That's where I'd like to step in and help you with that.
Okay, awesome.
As for an investment, Luke, the lack of farming experience and the 50% partner, I'm going to pass. We do have a CO2 supercritical extraction manufacturing company, so we make the machines.
Okay.
I'm happy to discuss that with you. And then we also have, we can help you place some of that CBD oil as well.
Okay.
So Luke, I think you're underestimating the learning curve that you're going to go through growing a crop for the first time, building out buildings for the first time, because I've done those things and there's a learning curve there. So if I were to come in and be your partner, I would not only have to commit to the $500,000, I would have to hold your hand through the process. And for that, I would need 50% of your business. You've already given 50% of it away. So there's just not a deal there for us to be made as an investor. But I agree with Jamie in that CBD is becoming a very big part of the market. And if you're successful and you bring a product to the market, Starbuds would love to carry your product line.
Okay.
So let's stay in touch.
All right, sounds good. I'll have 120 pounds of oil ready for you next year.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Luke.
I think I maybe could have explained to them how experienced the team is and how many partners we have that are in this project. What's going on in my mind was, I'm running through the numbers, running through the facts of what we're gonna do, but what was running through my heart, just trying to think about all the patients that we're trying to help.
I'm here with Luke and Charlie at Cloudco Farms. Luke, tell me what happened when you were pitching the investors and this thought that maybe you had 50% of your company already spoken for. That created some confusion.
We were trying to figure out the best deal that we could, or arrangement we could make, and we had discussed doing a 50-50 crop share. But under that arrangement, they would have got half the crop and went and sold their half and kind of left us hanging in a way. So instead of doing that arrangement, we ended up doing a 15% sales share. They get a piece of our sales, so they're really motivated to help this company distribute its product and get it out into the marketplace.
So if we found the right person or the right group and we brought them back to the table with this new understanding that you do own 100%, what would you do? Would you accept the offer if it was the right fit, the right person?
Absolutely. I think myself and my family as a whole, we would all be thrilled, and it would just be extra motivation and fuel to the fire to get this project really rolling so that we could help save some people's lives.
We're here with Luke with Cloudco Farms, and we're wrapping up from our last conversation where we talked about, wouldn't it be great to have a second chance? So Wendy and I did some magic. We actually talked with a group of investors you haven't met yet. We showed them your business plan. We talked about you as a person, that we really like you. And so he wanted to come forward and give you a check. And I have it with me here for $250,000.
Oh my God, Charlie, look, we're rich. Charlie, we're rich, buddy.
Look, Charlie, you did it.
So what's next for Cloudco Farms is we get our 1,000 clones started growing in the greenhouse, and we'll get that oil out to product manufacturers, to dispensaries, and individuals across the country. The marijuana show has been great. I love the people that I've had a chance to meet here and work with. I think what they do is great for the industry because it helps give people an opportunity to help other people. And that's what it's all about. That's what we're trying to do here. And it was a huge success. Hashtag MJ Reality Show.
Thomas Jefferson.